Michelle Obama. Every day she's dropped another negativity bomb on us, whether on her podcast or on someone else's. I mean, this audience knows she never says anything positive. It is all complaints.
Video of Michelle Obama today making the rounds.
It's about what he needs as a grown man in the world. That would be.
You should have threw a boy in the mix.
I would. I'm so glad I didn't have a boy.
Yeah.
Because he would have been a Barack Obama.
It's like baby Barack. It would have been amazing.
Ooh, no, I would have felt for him.
Yes, Michelle Obama says she's glad she didn't have a son. He would have been Barack Obama. When I saw this clip, at a certain point, I wonder if this woman actually hate Obama or what exactly is going on her podcast. She has been doing this for a very long time. When I look at videos, since she started this every single day, we have situations like this. I have seen a lot of videos on social media. It is important I show you what she said before we go into the full analysis of this clip.
And people say mothers raise their girls and love their sons. And I'd say love your son, but raise him too. Raise him to be as strong as you know he's going to have to be. You know, teach him about how to deal with a traffic stop, but also teach him how to communicate in a marriage and be a listening father and to, you know, be a compassionate neighbor and to be a voting citizen, you know, somebody who's going to pay attention and care about something outside of himself, you know. And if you're thinking about that human, then all these choices become a little more clear. One thing, I do want to go back to the work that you've done, the therapy that you've done. And I talk to you about this a lot. You know, that it is rare for men to get help, to seek counseling. And not only have you done it, but you're very vocal about it and you're very clear-headed about it. You give permission to a lot of men out there who need to do work. They need to do some self-reflection and to figure out.
Let me say, when I started, I was embarrassed. You know, I mean, I was a child of the 50s.
Yeah.
My dad was a man of the 50s. And we had a lot of mental illness in my family. My aunts, my cousins. It really ran through particularly the Irish side, but the Italian side in some ways also. And no one got any help.
Yeah.
So when I started, and I only started because I hit a wall and really had, or looking back on it, was somewhat of a breakdown, you know? And that was, I almost felt like, well, I got to get help somehow.
Yeah.
But I was totally embarrassed. I would hide. I had the baseball cap and the sunglasses, and I'm looking all around to see if anybody's looking at me.
It's going in, what office building is he going
in? Block, and I'm sneaking into the doctor's office, and I'm sneaking out. I say it, but that might have went on for years.
Right, yeah.
You know, that's how I did feel embarrassed about it, you know?
Yeah.
But there was one thing I couldn't argue with. It was working.
Yeah.
It was simply working.
Yes, the guy who posted this is what he wrote. Oh my God, this is so cringe. Michelle Obama is praising Bruce because he made it okay for other men to seek professional help. Seriously, what planet does she live on? That is a question. Someone replied, Michelle Obama knows a lot about men on a deeply personal level. You could almost say she's in the mirror like the Michael Jackson song, except it's not a song. That is someone replying to this guy. I don't always like to go into talks about whether she is this, she is that. My focus is on this clip. Look at what she said here. This has been a thing. I posted a video 1 week ago where Megyn Kelly reacted to Michelle. If you never saw that video, I'm going to replay that so you can see exactly what happened here. You will compare the two and see what she is doing all through.
More aggrievement in the following soundbite, and this is another theme with her. Just, I mean, how hard it is to be Michelle, how hard it is to be a woman. Here she is in SOT 16.
Drink excessive amounts of alcohol, that might be a factor. But the thing that's different about women than it is about men, with men, you make a new set of sperm every 69 days. You get a new batch, right?
Right.
We are born with all we're ever going to have. And that's it. We
always getting the short end of
I'm
something.
telling you, isn't it? We get all we have.
Sperm after sperm after
Well,
sperm.
we can jack ours up with behavior too, right?
No,
Like
see, you
smoking
use that
and-
word, jack up. It's like, be
I did
careful
not
there. I was
mean
like,
that.
where are you going
Didn't
with that,
mean
dude?
that. I just, I was trying not to curse. I should have cursed. It would have been better.
We might have to bleep that out.
No, but seriously.
Michelle Obama just made a bold statement about women's reproductive health, and people are losing their mind over it. Some are calling it empowering. Others say it's insulting. So let's break it down. Michelle said this: the ability to have a baby, it is not the only thing, and it's not even the primary thing that our bodies are made to do. To a lot of women, that's a powerful reminder that our bodies are not just baby-making machines. That our bodies are part of a larger complex system that affects everything from metabolism to mental health to well-being. But here's the backlash. People clap back, saying things like, motherhood is the most powerful thing God gave women. It is not a side effect. It's a miracle. And we are tired of celebrities trying to convince us that growing life is demeaning.
When you take a look at this article, Michelle Obama is facing backlash after a video surfaced on social media from a podcast in which she says that the least important thing about a woman's reproductive system is that it produces life. Motherhood is the most beautiful and powerful gift God gave women. Creating life isn't a side effect, it is a miracle. Author Daniel. When I look at what Michelle Obama is doing, every single time things like these will surface, and it stir up a lot of reactions on social media. A lot of people are reacting to this. I just want to show you
Complaints here. Here's one from her most recent episode, which still on YouTube, she's got like 200,000 subscribers. It's really amazing that now she's been doing this for how many episodes? She's been literally on every podcast of the left wing promoting it. And that's still all she's managed to get. Here she is interviewing Dr. Sharon Malone, perhaps better known as former Attorney General Eric Holder's wife. And therein lies the problem, as these two ladies married to two very famous men are pissed that they are not the alpha in terms of popularity and recognition in their marriages. Listen to this.
Sharon's husband happens to be former Attorney General Eric Holder. He's a non-factor. He is
not a non-factor.
He's a non-factor in our relationship.
Okay,
in our
then
story.
let's
Neither of them,
contextualize
although
that,
they put us together because we were both reluctant spouses attending one of these huge dinners. And where were they? Was Barack a U.S. senator at the time?
Yes, he was a senator because you were still living in Chicago and Eric was in private practice. So it was the very early days. And, she came to D.C. and you didn't come to D.C. much in those days.
No, ma'am.
And they sit us at a table and we were seated just about like this. She was across the table from me.
Okay.
And you know how there are things going on around us. And I would just look over at her and it was...
Well, and the things were, there was a line of people waiting to shake hands with our respective husbands, people like reaching over our heads and spilling water on us, trying to get to these two, illustrious men.
And that's annoying because she's supposed to be the star. Michelle Obama. This dovetails perfectly with so many other comments she's made about how she is like, what about me? What about me? What did those 8 years in the White House do to my soul? And why isn't anyone asking? They shouldn't have to be told to ask about how I'm doing.
Yes, if you've been watching this channel for some time now, you realize this is about the fifth segment I'm doing about Michelle Obama complaining, oh this, oh that. Every single time I see this, I don't know. Why is she even doing this? Someone told me like she's doing this just to go viral so the podcast can pick up. But this is not the way to go about it. This is a first lady we are talking about here. Not just any kind of person. This her podcast is just everything full of controversies. This look at what she's saying here.
We ought to feel sorry for. On top of that, you know, these podcasts where you what she's doing, which is basically just like going around and chit-chatting about her life and the like things she thinks is interesting in her life and the thoughts she has in the middle of the night. It's such an act of like extreme narcissism to go around talking constantly about the things that are being done to you that you think are unfair when in the entire 8 billion people on the planet, you are basically in the top 0.00001% of the people who are the most privileged by every reasonable metric. I'm not saying people don't go through bad times if they're like very rich or very famous. Of course they do. But don't you have like any humility at all, like any sensibility at all that most people don't want to hear from you about how difficult your life is, given that you live in this lavish wealth and fame and you know, got to be in the White House for all those years, but she's angry about it and thinks that it's worthy of all of our attention.
People line up for my advice. And you're walking away like I'm stupid. It's like,
why don't we choose more carefully who we're going to lionize?
Why marriage, infertility, trying to have kids makes things difficult. It's like
she's seriously depressed about how hard it is to live in the White House.
Post this morning alleging that since I said I will prevail.
It also shouldn't be racial.
Require Carmelo to run. He had
100.
Has been overwhelming. The lies in their amplification.
This is not going to end. Right is right and wrong is wrong. All good.
If you see any clips after this, that is just for the YouTube algorithm.
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense because kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution.
Again, the evidence is still coming in.
This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you...
Because she's fearful of what might happen to her.
Followers for anything. And then the
Registration Act is
talking about term, and you will be very...
Once again, the field was littered with Wintour does.
And black people don't want to live around ratchet black.
How bad is his reputation going to be?
Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass have already proven their incompetence.